Good evening to every one of you assembled for this 15th Annual General Meeting of Motivation Australia, including board members, staff, members and supporters, and representatives from Interplast. I would very much have liked to be present with you for this particularly special AGM, or at least to have joined you remotely. However, despite how adept we've all become in the past few years at using remote methods, we still haven't solved how to overcome time zone differences. So a warm thank you to Ainsley, who I am sure is the one working behind the scenes to bring you this recording. For those of you who do not know me, I am Kylie Shea, the founder and the first CEO of Motivation Australia. I began my career as an occupational therapist, working with children with multiple disabilities in South Australia, and from those children and their parents, I learned so much. Of the most important lessons was the inherent value and worth of every single individual, regardless of difference. And also that society is better when we strive together to ensure that those amongst us who need more support are heard and have their needs met. And from a very practical perspective, I understood the impact that timely access to the right assistive technology can have on the lives of many people, whether we're talking about a wheelchair, a prosthetic limb, a white cane, screen reading software, a communication device, or a toilet chair. Motivation Australia began its journey more than 15 years ago to bridge a significant gap in the Pacific region in access to assistive technology, as well as to rehabilitation services. We became known initially as the Wheelchair Organisation because that's where we started, introducing a new approach to wheelchair provision in the region that aimed to replace a reliance on inappropriate second-hand donated wheelchairs, which was not adequately meeting anyone's needs, with systems of provision of a range of good quality wheelchairs suited to the local environment and provided through local services by trained personnel. This work quickly expanded to the establishment of integrated services, providing wheelchairs, prosthetics, orthotics, and walking aids, as well as responding to the growing diabetes crisis by strengthening diabetic foot care services in the region in order to reduce the impact of the incidence of amputation. Through working alongside Pacific stakeholders, including disabled persons organisations, government and service providers, Motivation Australia not only established and supported the strengthening of rehab and mobility device service in the region, we also, and perhaps more importantly, helped to change the mindset of donors and other stakeholders towards an understanding that these services are not about charity, but about rights. People with disabilities, as well as older persons and anyone with a health condition that leads to ongoing functional impairment, have a right to rehabilitation and assistive technology that will continue to enable their participation and inclusion. Motivation Australia, thanks to the support of our wonderful Board of Governors, a group of talented and dedicated staff and volunteers, our members and supporters, and a network of leaders, friends, and colleagues across the Pacific region, has had a significant impact. And I am sure that the ripples of our work today will be felt for many years to come, and all who have been involved can be very proud. And now today, you will be asked to vote on 2 resolutions that will enable Motivation Australia's mission to continue under the stewardship of another Australian INGO that has also had a real impact in the Pacific region. Interplast Australia and New Zealand, like Motivation Australia, strives towards a more inclusive, fairer society where every individual matters. Through lending Australian and New Zealand expertise to our Pacific neighbours and those further afield in Asia to fill gaps in medical care. In an increasingly competitive environment for smaller INGOs, I commend the Motivation Australia Board for having the courage to explore alternative models for sustaining the work of the organisation. And I thank Interplast, and in particular the board and CEO Cameron Glover, for being open to the opportunities afforded by integrating Motivation Australia staff and programs into your work. I firmly believe that the two distinct yet connected areas of focus of each organisation, when brought together under one organisational roof, will be stronger, more comprehensive, and will ultimately serve our intended beneficiaries better. This is a natural partnership, blending the skills and the expertise of teams experienced across realms of healthcare, including prevention, medical intervention, and rehabilitation, as well as access to appropriate assistive technology. I really look forward to following the progress of the work and seeing how the strengths of the two organisations, and in particular their teams, combine to continue to spiral upwards in terms of both quality and quantity of impact. I'm also honoured to have been invited to join Dr. Lloyd Walker, founding board member, and Kate Shaw, one of our longest standing staff members, as trustees of the Motivation Australia mission. And so thank you for this opportunity to speak at the last AGM of Motivation Australia. And thank you once again to Interplast for extending the hand of partnership to ensure that the mission continues. I wish you all the very best for the rest of the AGM and for the future moving forwards. Thank you.